Thank you, Dr. Kloba, I think. I'm not sure. And the dedicated members of the board. Thank you, President Coleman, and all the committed teachers and faculty, proud parents and friends, and to the talented, ambitious, inspiring class of 2016. Thank you so much for allowing me the privilege and the honor to celebrate with you tonight. You know, I think the years make you sound a little bit better than what we really are. As the years go by, stories get a little blown out of proportion. And to be honest with you, when I hear about me being the captain of all of those teams, I think if we were to go back, I probably would have won the award for the person who played sports the longest before they actually received their varsity letter. Because when I went to Jupiter Christian, there were no junior high sports or junior varsity teams, so you got to be able to begin playing varsity sports as a 7th grader. So I joined the softball team, and by the time my sophomore year came around, I had finally played enough innings and finally achieved the goal of earning my varsity letter. So this is my jacket that I earned, that I wore so proudly. The sports banquet was in May, and I wore it proudly all through June, July, and August that year. And loved every minute. I wore it as a helmsman, but I know if I were to wear it today, I'd be a proud eagle. But that's just one of the many things that have changed through the years. But it's an honor to be here tonight, and I am just so honored to be part of the alumni of Jupiter Christian School. So many things have changed through the years at Jupiter Christian. You know, last week, my husband Todd and I were in Minnesota, and it was pretty cold outside, and someone said, it's about 41 degrees. And I said, no, actually, it's 39 degrees. And they said, well, how would you know that? And I said, well, because I have an internal thermometer that was set when I went to Jupiter Christian, because it was at 39 degrees that I would be able to wear pants to school on a cold day. And so I have an internal thermometer that has been permanently set at 39 degrees, because that was when all of us girls would pull out our designer jeans that we asked for Christmas, just in case that day came where it dipped below 39 degrees on Channel 5. That was the only source that counted. A couple other things that have changed. I still to this day have most of the scriptures that I have committed to memory memorized in the King James Version. But even though so many things have changed, the heart of Jupiter Christian has remained the same. It's a heart that beats passionately for the next generation and is committed to investing with excellence into the academic minds and the spiritual souls of its students so they can launch into their life journey with a firm foundation. And class of 2016, you are a stunning reflection of that heartbeat. I know many of you personally, some of you since you were babies. Some I have not met in person, but I have followed your journey throughout your senior year closely since I knew that I would be standing up here today. And today is a significant marker in your own journey, because even though you sit here together as one class, you are actually standing here at the starting line of your own unique individual race. And there's a passage I'd like to share that we've already heard from the amazing Madeline Salutatorian, what a world changer that you're gonna be. And I'm sure you become familiar with it in your years at JCS, but I'd like to share it as you stand here at the starting line. It's found in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. So since we stand surrounded by all those who have gone before, an enormous cloud of witnesses, let us drop every weight, every extra weight, every sin that clings to us and slackens our pace, and let us run with perseverance the long race set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith. See, I believe that God has a very specific race marked out for each of you. He created you uniquely, and he's placed specific gifts within each one of you. And he placed you in this environment over the last season to prepare you for your race. You've had defining experiences even this year, times like your senior retreat and your senior trip, where relationships were forged that will last a lifetime. My closest friends today are those that I graduated with 33 years ago. The mini-mesters that opened your mind and fueled your passion to a specific vocation or mission field. Your lives have been marked by the relationships of your senior sponsors and your gap leaders that have prayed for you, and at times have believed more in you than you even believed in yourself. And all of these experiences have been extensive training for the race that lies ahead. A race that will likely include college, a career path, a race that will be marked by lifelong relationships forged at every leg of the race. But this isn't a 100-yard dash that can be run quickly or won easily. And it won't be a predictable, well-planned marathon. Your race will be more like a rugged, cross-country Tough Mudder event with unforeseen obstacles and challenges waiting for you at every turn. And you may be thinking, well, didn't my race begin when I was born or maybe when I entered into my relationship with Christ? Those were defining moments, but you see, up to this point, your amazing parents and teachers have been running alongside you, putting up guardrails, marking your lanes with strong boundaries to help you make life-giving choices. And even though these relationships and resources will still be available to you after today, from this point on, you will have the freedom to choose who you will bring on your race with you. And the choices you now make will determine your destiny. So class of 2016, tonight, as you stand at your starting line, I want to share a few words of wisdom. You see, I'm 33 miles down the road at mile marker 33, because 33 years ago, I was standing where you are today. So I have 33 lessons that I'd like to share tonight, but I'm only going to share 3 of them. See, when you break it down, every race is run and won one small step at a time. So the first lesson from mile marker number 33 is that the small steps you take today will determine the big stories that you'll tell tomorrow. The small steps you take today will determine the big stories that you're going to get to tell tomorrow. I was in my freshman year of college when Pastor Tom and Donna started Christ Fellowship Church. And even though I had dated their son, Todd, as you heard, off and on all the way through high school, we were in a very extended off season. And I was like so many of you, and I had a sense that God wanted to use me, and I had a desire to make a difference in the lives of other people, but I really didn't have the wisdom or the experience to even know how to begin. So I made what seemed to be a very small decision to commit to being part of a very small church, to serve under leaders with integrity, and to serve in whatever way I could. And it was my availability that created opportunity. And even though it seemed like a small decision at that time, it was a huge mile marker on my race. Because you see, that one small decision impacted who I married, who my friends still are today, and it determined my future opportunities to impact and to lead others. A couple of weeks ago, I spoke at another graduation. It was a graduation of one girl, and she was graduating from our Hope House, which is our home for girls that have been rescued out of human trafficking. She graduated high school and graduated from our program in the same night. And I just left overwhelmed that I was able to be a part of someone's story of redemption. And I was reminded that every opportunity that I have can all be traced back to that one small decision. That small decision is a part of almost every big story that I get to tell. And there will be seemingly small decisions that you will make every day. Should I go on that first date? Small decision, but I've never met anybody that got married without first going on a first date. Should I go to that party on Friday night? Small decision, but the truth is, I've never met an addict who never took their first drink. Who will I choose to be my closest friends? You know, my husband always says, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. Choose wisely. Just remember this, that small decisions with big consequences are really big decisions in disguise. Small decisions with big consequences are really big decisions in disguise. So keep your eyes peeled for the small decisions that will determine the stories that you tell. In this race, not all of your steps will move you forward. Mistakes and failures are inevitable. So you need to remember, second lesson, your missteps don't make you. That misstep, that mistake, that failure is just one step in your race. And as I look back at my own race, my biggest regrets were the times that I allowed mistakes stop me in my tracks and became paralyzed with self-doubt. With as many books that have been written and as many beautiful Pinterest boards with inspiring quotes about failing forward, failure can appear glamorous and inspirational, and it is when it's somebody else's failure. Truth be told, failure stinks. And when it happens to you, failure stinks when it happens to you. What I know about every one of you is that you have already succeeded on so many more occasions than you failed, and you will continue to do so. But failure will be inevitable. So when you meet the failure of broken relationships, a lost job, poor grades, you'll be faced with a difficult choice. The choice to give up or power up. No one can make this choice for you. We get to choose whether we will allow our missteps and messed ups disqualify us or propel us forward. You know, in 2008, Heather Dorniden was a runner for the University of Minnesota, and she was running in the Big 8 national championships, and she was favored to win the 200-meter run. And as she rounded one of the corners, another runner clipped her heels, and she fell face first, flat on the pavement, and she appeared to be seriously injured. It looked like her race was over, and to everyone's surprise, she instantly popped up, and with thousands cheering on, she not only finished, but she passed every runner one by one and miraculously crossed the line as the winner. In an interview, she said, "In that moment, I would have never guessed that just getting up would make me a YouTube sensation and bring the international notoriety that I've received." She went on to say that the race isn't just about not giving up. It's about discovering what you're capable of when you're given the opportunity to rise above adversity. She has gone on to write a book about her experience and has launched a career as an inspirational speaker. And in Heather's words, all she did was get up. Just getting up will open up more possibilities than you ever dreamed possible. Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it is the courage to continue that counts." Remember, God cares more about your next step than your misstep. As I look across this class, I see that there's so much potential in each of you, and each of you will have a unique destiny. Some of you will impact political change in our nation. Please do it quickly. We're waiting on you. Some of you will take on social injustices like human trafficking and hunger, and some of you will shape the hearts and minds of the next generation. In your race, your path will not always be clear. You will need a leader to set the pace and to guide your steps. So my third lesson is simple. When you need a leader, don't follow your heart. When you need a leader, don't follow your heart. Don't get me wrong, your heart is beautiful and is full of the capacity to love and to grow and expand, but it is not a great leader. Agatha Christie once said, "I followed my heart and it got broken." Our hearts are inexperienced and they are prone to be broken by life storms and challenges. We all need a leader that is both experienced and unbreakable. There is one who is both and so much more. He created both the race and the racer. I will close with the scripture that we started with in Hebrews 12. Let us run the race with perseverance, the race that is set before us. We do this by keeping our eyes on Jesus, the author and the finisher of our race. In your race, don't follow your heart, follow Jesus. He is the author and the creator of your race. He is the only one who has the ability to be there for every step of your race, and he is waiting for you in your future. So graduating class of 2016, I hope that you remember to master your missteps. Keep your eyes wide open for those big decisions in disguise, and to follow the one who can lead you through to the finish. Welcome to the starting line of your amazing race. Thank you, and God bless you.